What's up, everybody? It's 8 o'clock, and you know what time it is. It's time for my show, The Mecca James Show. I tell you every day, people, I bring the best of the best to The Mecca James Show, and I have a treat for you today. Although my show is every Tuesday, I'm expanding, and I have a special guest on the show because it's a special day. And my guest is Miss Egypt Sherrod from WBLS 107.5. She's going to be on the show, and we're going to have a candid conversation. She's a TV host, a radio personality. She has interviewed people like Will Smith, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, Mariah, and so much more. So I'm telling you, people, call someone, text a friend, get in the chat room because it's about to go down. And I'm going to give you my special guest. Egypt is on the show right now, and we're going to have a great conversation with her, and I'm putting her on right now. Hello?
Mecca James.
Hey, Egypt, how are you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me pretty good? I want to make sure.
Oh, I hear you very well.
Mecca, you are blowing up, girl. How you been? I can't even believe I'm listening to you with your radio voice and everything. Look at you. Go ahead, girl. I'm not even mad. I'm not mad. Go ahead and do your thing.
I am trying my best. And people out there, I have people, Egypt, in case you don't know, people that listen from the East Coast, West Coast, sometimes different countries because it's internet. But I want to tell you people about Miss Egypt. I have been grinding so much for so many years, and we'll go into details about all of that, but she is such a down-to-earth person, and that's why she's on the show. And thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, baby. Anything for you.
Okay. So I just wanted to get into, Egypt, you have interviewed so many people. Not only are you a radio host, you do TV, you're all over the place. So I'm just going to ask you some questions, and we're going to sit back and relax, and everybody else enjoy the show. So I wanted to ask you one of the questions. How long have you been in the entertainment business?
In entertainment, as an amateur, as a professional, because that's an entirely different story. If you wanted to say in the entertainment business, I would say since I was a kid, because I just knew that I was going to win a Grammy and be a singer, even though I couldn't sing. I think I was like 9 years old, and I used to make my family sit down on holidays and listen to me blurt out the Star Spangled Banner to the top of my lungs, and I thought I was Stephanie Mills and Patti LaBelle all balled into one. They knew I wasn't going to be a singer. I didn't know that back then, but we all knew I was going to be in the entertainment business. I would say my actual career started when I was about 19 years old.
Wow, and so much success within those years. I wanted to also ask you, what advice, because we have some people in the chat room, and when I told them that I was going to interview Egypt, you are loved. They was like, oh, my God, I love Egypt. I love her personality. I love her.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to tell you, you are loved all over.
Thank you, everybody in the chat room. I wish I could be in the chat room. I don't know how to get in there, though.
Oh, that's okay. You can listen to the show, and I'll definitely tell you a little bit later. People want to know, what advice would you give someone trying to pursue a radio or a television career?
Well, the first thing I'll say, just because I'm going to keep it riggedy raw with you, there's a lot of competition out. No, seriously, there's a lot of competition out there. So it's going to take a little bit of time. However, it is possible. Anything you put your mind to and you're willing to put the hard work into it, investing in yourself, investing in the craft, it will pay off. My advice to you would be, do your research, know your craft, and figure out who you are. We're in a day and age where, you can just look at television and see what television has come to, reality television, where average, everyday people are becoming overnight stars. That's because people like real, genuine people with real-life situations. And so even on my radio show and in my career, I've evolved and allowed people to come into my life a little more and share things personally about myself, because the more people know about you, they feel endeared to you, the more loyal they're going to be. But before you're able to do that, you first have to figure out who you are. We're not just voices on the radio. Who are you as a person? What do you like? What are your dislikes? What are your quirks? What makes you special? How do you stand out from the other gazillion people out there trying to do the same thing?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I do say that, and this is how I connect to the people that listen to me. They see me grown, and now I have you on the show. So, I do definitely keep it real, and that's very good advice to tell anyone that's trying to pursue this in this industry. I wanted to also ask you, you're all over the place. I mean, you're TV, radio, but you host so many events in New York City and all over the tri-state and all over the United States. How important is it to create your own brand?
Oh, my gosh. I was just having this conversation with the president of HLN. HLN is a sister station, Headline News of CNN. We were just having this exact conversation. His name is Scott Safran. He's a marketing. He started out in marketing and branding, and now he is the president, the head of a network. Branding is the most important thing. You have to figure out what you stand for first. What are people, when they think about you, what do they associate you with? Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but, it all works in the frame of things. Are you a gossip queen? Are you someone who's very community-driven? Are you known as, whatever it is? Figure out what makes you you, as I had mentioned before. What makes you special? What are you an expert in? What do you have to offer the world? What are people going to, when they think of you and your name, what do they think of? And then everything you do after that should simply be an extension of the brand that you already know you have. And Oprah Winfrey said something that stuck with me over my life and over my career. When you're, and I don't want to misquote Oprah, but here we go anyway. Basically, what she said was everything that you do in life should be intentional. And you have to set the goals, lay out the plan, the strategy ahead of time, and then see it through. If you can see the end of your goal, then everything else in between from A to Z should be easy. It's just a matter of how do you get to your goal. So what I do is set benchmarks for myself. If I'm planning an event, a party, if I'm planning a charity, sort of fundraiser event, if I have a book that I want to come out, I put that on my list of things to do. I have it big and small. And the big one is, all right, what's the 12-month plan? This is the date that I'm going to set for the book. This is the date I'm going to set for the calendar. This is the date I'm going to set for my Give Back coat drive, which is coming up December 13th through the 17th, all around the 5 boroughs. It's called the Egypt's 5-borough Give Back Tour. So you set the big things up on your calendar. Now you go back and dissect them. Month to month and week to week, and then you do all your list of things to do to get there. If you know where you're going, the process of getting there is just that, a process. It shouldn't be hard.
Wow. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the vision board and The Secret. Do you read books like that?
Oh, girl, I got a vision board up on my wall in my bedroom. It's been here for 3 years, and I'm going to tell you what's on it. Hold on.
Oh, my God, I got the same thing.
Do you? You must have saw that on the Oprah Winfrey show a couple of years back, too, right?
Yes, I did, and all my friends, we do that.
Here's what's on my vision board. I'm sitting on the end of my bed looking at my wall right now. It has me in a big picture in the center. Underneath it, I cut out something from Essence magazine that says, "Be happy, confident, and rich." And I put that right at the bottom of my picture. Then around it, I surrounded different areas of my life, be it career, personal, spiritual, financial. So over here on the bottom left is a big money tree. And underneath the money tree, I put magnetism, family, balance, harmony, purity, abundance. I also put my Range Rover that I'm getting in 2011 right there in the middle. And then I put defy age, wash away 10 years, good health, lose 15 pounds. These are cutouts from different magazines. I got a great picture from Curacao, and I put relax and refresh just to remind me that it's important, because sometimes what I do, and maybe some of you can relate to this, what I do is work, and never plan downtime to relax and refresh and take a vacation. So I put it right there in the center of my board so I remember to do that. I put Rita's water ice stand, because that's maybe not Rita's. I did look into the Rita's. Maybe it's not going to be Rita's, but I want to start a family business. My husband and I talked about owning a few franchises, so I put that there to remind me that that is a goal, so I don't lose sight of what I personally really want while I'm working for everybody else, right? Then I put my new house up at the top.
Nice.
My dream home. I'm going to get there. And as I look around my board, not to get into everything, I would say over the last 3 years I've accomplished about 65% of it. And there's more to go, but I can't wait till the day I look at it and say, done that, done that, done that, done that. Time to create a new dream board.
Oh, that is wonderful, people. And I also had a show about the vision board and, just thinking positive. And you heard it from Egypt. She has a vision board. Oprah, there's so many people. This is how you obtain your dreams, and you just go for your goals. Some people wanted to know a question about, is Egypt, is that your given name? Is that your birth name?
It's not my birth name. It is my given name.
Okay. Yes, because people, I just answering some questions on Facebook and Twitter and things like that. What was one of your most...
Ask away, y'all. Hit me with your best shot. What you got?
What was one of your most interesting interviews? I mean, you're interviewing so many people.
Every year I have my highlight, my standout interview. I would say this year had to be Diane Keaton, actress Diane Keaton. Do you know her? You know who I'm talking about?
Definitely. I definitely know who you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
All right, so in being nice, now that I've had time to step I'm not going to eat her alive, but I'll tell you what happened, and I'll tell you what I took from it. I also do interviews for Epix Networks. You can go to epixhd.com, and they cover all of Paramount and Lionsgate films, red carpets and backstage type of, one-on-ones with the big celebrities. But for the movie comes out, I've covered everybody from Russell Crowe to, of course, Tyler Perry, Janet Jackson, Jill Scott, when they came out and did Tyler Perry's movie, to Diane Keaton. It's just some of the biggest stars. You can go and check out my interviews. But recently, I interviewed her for the movie Morning Glory with Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
we had a great little conversation. In the movie, she's rapping along with 50 Cent. So I asked her to do the rap. I just wanted to see if she remembered it. And she starts to do it and messes up, and we're laughing. And I'm laughing because I forgot the daggone words to it. So all is good, right? Yeah, I thought so, until something happened. I was looking her dead in her face, and she snapped on me. Snatched off her headphone, or her earphone, snatched off the microphone, got up and just walked out the room like, no, I'm out of here. And I swear to you, Mecca, I was clueless. I was like a deer in headlights. What just happened? So I had them run the tape back just to see if maybe she could have misunderstood what I was asking her and gotten offended, to see if, I don't know what happened. Maybe a bug landed on her or something. But I just said, I don't know what the hell just came off of Diane Keaton. Well, when I watched the tape back, I asked her to look into a camera over my shoulder and simply say, bye-bye, goodbye. And the reason I asked her to do it is because, when we do the interviews, we chop and edit stuff together. One of the running bits in the movie Morning Glory was that all the newscasters at the end of the show would say, goodbye, 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 but they were fighting over who would get to say goodbye last. So I asked her to do it. The goal was to have everyone say it in the end. She basically said, no, do it yourself. I'm out of here. Now, when I look back at, of course, some of her team said, oh, she's been having problems. Maybe she didn't hear what you wanted her to say. I don't know. She's just been having fits. All I know is I was highly offended because I always liked her. Now, in retrospect, here's what I'm thinking, because I don't want to eat her alive. She is a big star. And what they don't like to do often are drops or promos for people. And that would be if I said, hey, this is Egypt, and you're listening to the Mecca James show, holla, whatever. They don't like to do that. And perhaps when I said look into the camera and say, that's all she heard. She didn't even listen to the rest of it and got up and walked out because she didn't want to do it, versus hearing that I was telling her to say goodbye. Now, that's me giving her the benefit of the doubt. Other than that, honey, I ain't got no freaking reason why she flipped on me.
I think that's crazy in itself. But, some big stars, they have egos, and I'm pretty sure you dealt with so many, stars on that level. That personally is really crazy. I'm going to get into first I want to say congratulations on your marriage. I definitely want to say congratulations on your marriage. People want to know, is Egypt married? Because as soon as I had the interview, the brothers was like, I cannot wait. Egypt is beautiful. I was like, calm down. Egypt is married now, in case you don't know.
They have not seen me without the makeup. But thank you.
So my question that people have, how is it being a newlywed versus being a single person, single woman?
I don't remember being, well, I guess I do remember being single. We've been together over 5 years, so although we just got married, we've been living together, invested in one another for several years now. I remember people used to think I was gay just because they didn't know who I was dating. I try to keep my personal life away from the public eye, off the red carpet, and, just very private, because we have to have a piece of something for ourselves, that keeps us grounded. And I'm not dating some celebrity or some ball player. So his life didn't necessarily need to be public just because my life was public, and I tried to respect that. But single life was not good for me. Single life, I'm a relationship type of person. Some people would almost compare me to Jennifer Lopez by saying I'm a serial monogamist, because as long as I remember, no, let's keep it real. Some of us do that. We just go from relationship to relationship. The great thing about what I'm in right now, my marriage with the man that I'm married to, I finally discovered what my faults were when I was single. I didn't give I didn't give myself a chance to just date. And what dating means is just getting to know somebody, not necessarily sleeping with them, not necessarily saying on the first date, oh, this is my husband or this is husband material. No, just getting to know someone on a basic human level, figuring out if they can be your friend first, if you like them, if you can be around them, longer than 12 hours, and then letting it naturally evolve. And I wasn't doing that in the years prior. Maybe that's because I spent so much time focused on my career that when I did get around someone in a relationship, I just kind of latched on like, okay, he'll do for the next 5 years, great. But the great thing about the marriage and the man that I'm with now is I actually did that this time around. I refused to be in a relationship. I refused to just stop dating everybody I was dating until I got to know him and made sure he was the one I wanted to invest my time into. And that's why I think we work. I love this relationship.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. I saw the pictures in Essence magazine and the different magazines, and Q from 112 and Coco was there. It's a beautiful thing. What I wanted to ask you, someone was telling me about relationships because you talk so much about it. Most of the time, do you believe that in the first 6 months, brothers do bring a representative of themselves? They don't actually tell you who they are in the first 6 to a year. Do you agree or disagree, or could you elaborate on that?
I wouldn't isolate it and say just brothers. I think we all, as people, we put on our best clothes and skin until we feel comfortable enough to peel it off for someone. And revealing yourself to people often happens in layers. And that's a good thing sometimes because it allows us to keep the mystery about ourselves. You don't want to give everybody everything up front, and you don't want everything they got up front necessarily either. But, yes, we all do let our representatives, come forward at first. But when you said the first couple months, honey, how about 5 years? I was with someone for over 5 years. I thought he was the one I was going to marry until I found out he had 2 kids I never knew about.
Oh, my God. In the United States? Wow.
Where the hell do we live, Mecca? I wasn't dating.
No, but let me tell you, there's some, I was speaking to one of my friends, and she was going with someone and dealing with this guy for so long, and he was originally from another country, and he had a whole different other family. She had no idea. No idea. It's crazy. It's crazy.
There are scallywags out there in the universe, aren't there? There are some scallywags.
Hey, this is the time we're living in. I wanted to ask you also, Egypt, how do you stay so grounded?
That's an interesting question because I cannot sit here on the phone and honestly say that I've always maintained a level head and that I've always kept both feet on the ground. There have been times in my career where, I'm like, oh, I got 2 TV shows. I'm making $500,000. I'm on the radio. Life is good. Who can stop me? There have been times when I let myself get carried away. and I forgot where my blessings were really coming from, which is through God, because, you know, all that we are and all positive that happens in our lives for us comes from him. He allows that. I forgot that at some point and lost my center. And because I did and I didn't like who I was becoming, I promised that I would never let it happen again, ever. So,
wow.
So I think, you know, it's sort of by, you know, you make mistakes. Life is a journey. We travel down that road, and we're going to trip and fall. Sometimes friends got to knock us back on course. Sometimes circumstances knock us back on course. I would say, for me, I feel very blessed that I have a good family, a strong family, and strong friends around me who are not afraid to tell it like it is and check me when I need to be checked and make me look in the mirror at myself. And I think we all have to do that. Look in the mirror. What are you becoming? Who are you? What do you represent? Seriously, because if you're not adding to this world, why the heck are you here? At the end of your day, when you got to get up to those pearly gates and, you know, they start running down, on Judgment Day, running down your list of positives and negatives, how many are you going to have on your con side? You know, I didn't like the fact that I had more on my con side than on my pro side, so I had to fix that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that so much, because sometimes people are just living. They're not doing anything with themselves. And you have to, I agree with that. I tell my little cousins and people like that all the time. You have to have a purpose in life. And, you know, some people find it out at different times in their life, but as long as you're searching for that, as long as you're on the right path, that's a good look. I wanted for you to explain your website, EgyptSaidSo.com.
EgyptSaidSo.com?
Mm-hmm.
EgyptSaidSo.com is an extension of, the very same person, me, that you hear on the radio and that you see on television. I think that it's important, as you've recognized by having, your show on Blog Talk Radio, it's important to own some internet real estate. Just like you would own some real estate out here in the world, the internet is where it's at. It's the streets of today. Like we used to say, oh, that's what's hot in the streets. Oh, you blowing up in the streets. You know, our streets are online now. So if you're hot, it needs to be reflected on the internet as well. And I just decided I wanted a creative space outside of the confines of my 60-second talk breaks on the radio, or outside of the confines of what I'm required to do when I'm on television, to be able to connect to my listeners in a very true and genuine, authentic space. And what EgyptSaidSo.com started out as was a blog gossip site, because when I started it, that's where I was in my life and in my career, caught up in the gossip. And now it has evolved into a reflection of who I am now. So I like to give advice. There's an advice column. I like to, sometimes still talk about gossip. There's gossip, and then there's entertainment news. I like to do interviews. I like to highlight people that are really doing things. For instance, I launched a new feature called People Who Make a Difference. And I featured Hardia Broadbent. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's a 26-year-old. She's a 26-year-old young lady who was born with and living with AIDS, and she's been an activist educating and inspiring, uplifting people since she was 7 years old. Now, that's somebody who's making a difference in this world. I'm going to keep doing more creative things with the site, but really what it is my personal space to connect, and I'm going to continue to use it. I don't feel like I have to compete with other blogs out there, because I'm a blogger, but that's not my life 24/7. I'm not trying to compete with Bossif.com and Media Takeout. That's their space. This is simply my creative room.
Yes. And I wanted to know, because I also posted some stuff on Hadia, and she had some YouTubes, and I believe she's connected with Wing, because I just became a member as well. So, I'm definitely familiar with all her accomplishments and activities that she's doing within the HIV and AIDS community. I wanted to also ask you, why is empowering women relevant? Because I know you talk so much about women empowerment and, women not being catty, and why do you think that's so relevant? Why is that so important?
I don't see how it couldn't be important. We have a responsibility, it's not a choice that we make. It's not a luxury. We have a responsibility to help one another, because when you really think back over your career, someone somewhere, whether you're willing to admit it, whether to humiliate, I can't even talk right now. Is it after 3 o'clock p.m. when I got off the radio? There it is. Whether it's the humility in you or not that allows you to recognize that someone somewhere reached back and gave you a shot, or plugged you in somewhere, that's fine. But we have a responsibility to do the same for the next generation coming up. And it's really sad that a lot of women are the very ones holding each other back, whether it's out of insecurity, jealousy. Everybody, that does things like that, they live in fear instead of living fearlessly that God has them and what is for them is for them. So a lot of us tend to think that another woman coming up, if she's talented, if she's pretty, too, to boot, and she's assertive, she's going to take our spot, or she's going to take what's ours that we work so hard for. Honey, if it's for you, no one can take it away.
Exactly. This is like so wonderful. And I wanted to share with the people out there how I met Egypt because, you're so positive and such a positive person. I was just, the listeners out there and people.
Wait a minute, Mecca, let's tell them the truth. I ain't that positive all the time.
No, not positive. I'm not saying you know, Mahatma Gandhi, but when I met you, I was fresh out of college. I think it was LaBarbac. You were LaBarbac, and I think you was hosting something with I think it was Talent the comedian. And I came up to you, and I wanted to be in radio, and you were so positive. You told me like, hey, this is what you do. You even invited me down to another lounge in New York City, and you didn't have to do that. You were already on BLS. You could have been like, okay, whatever, beat it, but you didn't. And this is how. And look at me now. I'm interviewing you. So you were very positive. I always tell people that story. I said, when you want to go somewhere and successful in life, talk to someone that's already in the business that's being successful. And you were positive. You were one of the positive people that I talked to. And although it was for a couple of minutes, it made a great impact on me.
Thank you, Mecca. Thank you.
Do you remember that?
I remember LaBarbac. I know that I've known you over the years because you've stayed true blue and loyal. And I know that you called into the radio a lot. I knew that radio was your passion for some reason, but I didn't remember the actual moment that we met at LaBarbac. If I had to say it, I didn't realize that's when we met. But I'm glad that you remembered that. Thank you. And I do remember hosting that with Talent. That had to be like 9-10 years ago.
So people, I know you have to go, but I wanted to ask you a couple more questions because we have Egypt on the first half, and I'm going to play music on the second half. I know a lot of people want to ask her questions, but, she's a busy woman, and she has to go.
No, I want to talk more. Let's talk for another 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, no problem. That's a good look. What activities do you... What activities do you partake in, to just relax? Because you're always working. What do you do to relax?
I'm trying to learn that now, Mecca. Honestly, I got high blood pressure, digestive problems, anxiety. So I'm the wrong person to ask how to relax. You tell me how the heck to relax. I'm trying to. I need to learn balance in my life. I'm starting to learn it, but now the question is how to apply it.
Okay. I can't really answer that because I've been on the air for like almost 1 year. I haven't took one break as yet. Every Tuesday I promote, I do everything. So I'm trying to wind down now. I'm trying to get an intern, but I like taking trips, like even if it's a weekend or a day trip, maybe you could do something like that. That'll be good.
I think I'm going to go to acupuncture because I've talked to a lot of people who say it really works and it's healthy to do acupuncture. I'm also going to try yoga. And it's funny, I tried meditation. I went out and actually bought the tapes from Barnes & Noble, put them on, Garenge Cure, all that stuff. I must have closed my eyes for 3 or 4 minutes and fell asleep in my basement. Mike came down there and I was snoring on the floor. So I have to learn how to meditate, but I'm going to figure it out. 2011 is my year. One of my primary goals is to find balance and make sure I incorporate time for myself into everything else.
Oh, definitely. We have to do that. I have some callers, but I'm going to take maybe one caller because I know you got to go. Is that okay? You want to talk to somebody?
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever.
Okay. We have a caller here. You're next, and your last digits are 1588. You want to talk to Egypt, 1588. Let's go.
Hi, Mecca.
Hello.
Sasha. Egypt,
hey, how are you doing?
I just want to tell you that I love to hear you on the radio. I get so excited because you may not realize, but sometimes I'm down and you just have a sentence, or you have a section where you have, like, words of inspiration. And those words really help me during the day, the week. And I just want to let you know that. And it's such a blessing. And also, I'm a serial monogamous, too. My friends are like,
join the club, everybody. Come on in our house and join the club.
Because I'm too.
I broke up with a guy, and a friend of mine said, and she's known me since I was 12. She said,
wow.
If you go out with a person, it's just them. She said, Dad, you're a serial monogamous. I said, I know I'm not the only person in the world. There's someone else. Now I can say, well, Egypt she was a serial monogamous before she got married, so I'm not the only one.
You know, I always say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name when you first came on. What's your name?
Sasha.
Sasha or Kasha?
Sasha with an S.
Oh, Sasha, that's my
Sasha,
niece's name. Okay, Sasha, you know what? There's more of us out there than you know, men and women. It's funny, but it often tends to be people who have extremely busy careers who do that. We barely have time to date or meet people. So how the heck are we going to, really establish relationships with several people? So when we go out with one person who seems to fit the bill, we're like, okay, you are it. For now, you are it. You're gonna be my everything for the next 3 years. And that's not good. We have to give ourselves a chance. The same way we go out shopping for clothes, the same way we shop in the grocery store and try to find what we really want to eat, what's going to be healthy for us and nutritious for us as well as tasty. We have to take that same approach to finding a mate.
Because Mecca has known me since we were, I think, 13. And she knows I'm always on the go, so, oh well, I'll find him one day.
I'll say this, put you first, and get rid of all the Mr. Wrongs in your life, before God is going to really bless you with Mr. Right. He's going to, you know what we do sometimes? We hold on to things because we're afraid to be alone or fear of rejection. So even when it's not healthy for us, mind, body, and soul, we'll hold on to it just to say we have something. But what you're doing really is blocking your blessings. Because if God's looking down on you saying she still ain't going to learn, she got to learn herself and be happy with herself 100% before I'm going to give her someone else to complete the package. Because a man can't complete you. You have to already be complete before he comes into the picture. God knows this. So the person he's creating for you is going to just be sitting on the sidelines waiting for you to get it right. You got to clean out your life from all the baggage and the things that you know. You know it. We know it in our spirit that something's unhealthy for us, but sometimes we refuse to deal with it. And until you deal with it, God ain't going to deal with you.
See, Egypt, this is why I love hearing you.
Thank you, Mama.
Inspiration.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sasha. She's calling in from the BX. I have another caller, and then I know I want you to do a drop, and then you can just go eat.
Okay.
This caller, caller, your last digits is 8101. 8101, you're up next. Let's go. Hello?
Hi, Mecca, how are you? This is Rahel. Actually, what I wanted to say, she just said it, Egypt said it just now, and I just wanted to say thank you for her saying what she said so other people can hear that what I heard is that she gave herself an opportunity to get to know self and to date and to discover self. And when she discovered self within her dating venture, then she finally found someone that she actually wanted to have that person to invest into her life. And I think that that's a great message.
And can you tell everyone where you're calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from Los Angeles, California. This is Rael Sims, the relationship coach.
Wow.
Oh, thank you.
How's the weather out there in California right now?
It's cool. But it's great. It's cool, but it's okay. It's okay. It's been some cold days
I'm
here.
jealous. I need to be on the beach. It's cold in New York.
I know. East Coast, it's raining and it's cold. And it's all, I don't know what's going on.
But thank you for your call, and I do appreciate your time and you calling in to talk to us and listening to my interview. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you
and
so
I'm so
much,
proud of you,
Mr.
too, Mecca.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Sims. Thank you. I appreciate that. He was also one of the relationship coach that was on my show, part of the Tavis Smiley Institute. So, Egypt, I know you have to get out of here. What's next for you? What's next for Egypt?
Well, I have my book coming out in 2011, so look out for that. I've been working on a few television show concepts. I actually shot a TV show pilot in August that looks very, very good. So I definitely know 2011 is going to bring more television into my life and into your households. So you can always catch me on that. Radio is grassroots for me. It's what I love. It's in my bones. So I'm not going anywhere as far as radio is concerned. And what's next for me? You know, I'm kind of just leaving the door open for God to keep the blessings flowing. I started a foundation called Egypt Cares Family Foundation. Again, This is me sowing seeds, you know, and I think we all have to do that. Don't forget, we got to give back. And I'm a little disappointed in myself that it took me so many years to figure this out. But I started the foundation, which will benefit all things family, to help uplift and promote the black family in our communities, be it children. I volunteer with an organization called Hudson Cradle, and they house, babies with special needs who are now in the system. For some reason, they've been abused or, left out or neglected. And they house these babies under the age of 24 months. It's very close to my heart. So I have fundraisers coming up, a coat drive and a toy drive coming up to benefit them, along with Children's Aid Society, New York Cares, Toys for Tots. Like I said, that's December 13th through 17th as part of my Give Back tour. And just stay plugged into EgyptSaysSo.com. I'll update everything as it comes along.
Oh, thank you so much, and I appreciate it so much. Women in radio doing it really big. I would love for you to do a drop on the show, and I know I see so many people in the chat room. Thank you so much. But, Egypt, could you do a drop from a show?
Sure. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, people, this is Egypt from the radio, from TV, EgyptSaysSo.com, and you are now listening to the Mecca James Show. That's my girl.
Thank you so much. I have Tammy in the chat room. There's so many people in the chat room, and I appreciate you coming on the show. I would love to invite you to my one-year anniversary. It will be coming up the end of this month. I don't have a date as yet, and I would love for you to come out. Just, if you could, if the dates are all available for you.
Make sure you send it over to Sarita, and if I'm not already booked for that, we'll definitely be there.
All right. Thank you so much, Egypt. God bless you. And people in the chat room, Egypt has to go. But I'm going to play so much music. I appreciate you, Mama, so much for coming on the show. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
And that was Egypt. She was on the show. And like I said before, people, women in radio. She's so positive, and she did so much for the community. I have so many more questions for Egypt, but I know that she has to go. She has so many things to do. So now I'm going to give you a song because I love this song so much. And, wow, this is a wonderful show. I see so many people in the chat room. Thank you for rocking with me. I see Tammy